Okay, South Africa have beaten Namibia 57 points to 3. It was 31-3 at half time. So they've nilled Namibia in the second half, and Namibia did have a kick, that penalty kick, a goal which did hit the post. So they'll be frustrated that they didn't get on the score sheet in the second half. They had a few flashes of brilliance from some of their players. They have 8 full-timers in their entire World Cup squad. 7 of them were involved today. So it's not a complete team of amateurs. There are some professionals in the Namibia squad more than 4 years ago. So the sport has developed, and they continue to grow as a test side. They are getting more and more players playing on professional level, but most of their players play in the second tier of the Currie Cup. Most of their players are part-timers, complete amateurs. One of them is a banker. In 2003, one of them was a lion tamer. Now, one of them is a full-time banker who works in the National Bank in Windhoek, and he's allowed to start an hour later than everyone else and go home an hour earlier than everyone else because they know he's a test player. You get special privileges on his contract. Yeah, they're giving up a lot of their free time to be here. And no disrespect to them, they actually played very well in the second half. They were very combative in the second half, and South Africa were making a lot of changes and rotating their lineup. They made it so that South Africa couldn't actually settle in that second half and keep the scoreboard ticking over, as well as they did in the first half. On the South African side of things, Mapimpi on the wing looks like he could possibly push for a starting role. In the centres, again, he played quite well. You've got Francois Steyn is still around the squad and actually played quite well today. He's a big, bruising, physical centre. Obviously, I think his best years are behind him, but he's still actually young enough to play possibly at the next World Cup. He can still go on. Francois Lowe had a good game. Sculpt Brits played number 8 and played hooker. I think that's a valuable. He had some valuable minutes today and played a really, really good leadership role with Kolosi coming off the bench as captain. I think he enjoyed that, considering that he almost gave up the sport. Concerns with South Africa. Jantjies at fly half. His goal kicking is shocking. For a tier 1 nation status, it's bad. These kicks didn't mean anything today, really. The scoreline didn't really matter. It was just they knew they were going to win. They're practicing some combinations. They're working out some new line-up combinations in midfield, set plays. Kick to touch where they had a penalty. He decided to really go for it. Kicks it dead. That is schoolboy error stuff. That should not happen in perfect kicking conditions. His kicking from hand in open play is not as good as Andre Pollard either, but his goal kicking with no pressure on these kicks. It's not as if there's 5 minutes left and that conversion ties the game, or that conversion will give him a win by a point. There's no pressure on these kicks, and he's missing them. And his kicking technique leaves him open to a charge down, because he starts his run up. He's wobbling on the run up like this, and the Namibians should have been well within their rights to charge him down. And that is he's got a interesting technique that leaves him open to that charge down, as pointed out by the commentary team. And Brian Habana on the British commentary team did point out that yes, there is issues with his technique. His ball playing skills as bringing players passing and running the ball, they're equal to Andre Pollard, but in his tactical kicking, his pressure relief kicking and his kicking from hand and his goal kicking is secondary to Andre Pollard. And even Francois Steyn, I'm surprised Steyn didn't step up and say that I'm taking the conversions, because Steyn has got a very accurate long range boot on him. So Jantjies, if you've got a pressure situation, you need that kick at goal, either to tie up a game or to just take the lead or cut the gap and keep the scoreboard going. He missed kicks with no pressure on him, and I think they've rested Andre Pollard today, which is the right thing to do. Jantjies, he was also caught in possession a few times by the Namibian defence as well. So there are concerns with Jantjies. Some of the other players who were brought in, like Mapimpi on the wing, he played very, very well. Kolosi, when he came on, got a try as well, because he's recovering from a knee injury and he is the squad captain. Brits, very versatile forward. So if there are any issues at hooker, he can step into that hooker position, because he can play both hooker and number 8. But overall, I think the South Africans can be pretty confident that they got some of their forward pack moves. There's some of their combinations. They got them going. But I think the fly half area is where South Africa have their weakness. Looking at it, on the Namibia side of things, they're targeting the Canadian game. Giving their squad players some game time is important. They knew they were going to lose today, but giving those squad players a bit of game time, get them up to speed. They are targeting that Canadian game. They want to obviously take that step and win their first World Cup game. That's something they've never done since they've been coming to the World Cup in 1999 as an independent nation. So they're giving them some game time. That Lupsa their fly half does look like he's actually quite a capable player who could have a really good career as a professional. He's very young. He only had 2 kicks to goal. He did miss when he hit the post, but he's got the range, he's got the accuracy. Obviously, on the back foot, not having a lot of ball, he couldn't showcase his playmaking skills, but he looks pretty good. A couple of their other players look pretty solid as well. So it's not all doom and gloom for Namibia because they lost this game. They've scored 3 tries against Italy. They weren't nilled against South Africa, so that they can get points. This isn't the team that lost 143-0 against Australia in 2003. The Namibian rugby has come a long way, and the South African Union and World Rugby are assisting with the Namibian Union financially, with a performance centre and helping with facilities. There is still a ways to go. But the fact they've got more professionals in their squad this time round than 4 years ago and 8 years ago shows that the sport is growing and that players are getting an opportunity to step up from the semi-pro ranks to the professional level of Super Rugby and European club rugby, and they are doing that. But there we go, there's not really much to say. South Africa possibly could and should have had more, but they made so many changes that is a bit disruptive, but they did get game time to a lot of players. And it was great to see Sculptbrits smile, I suppose. Sculptbrits nearly gave up the sport altogether, and he took a cool while on holiday and he decided to carry on playing, and he's the second oldest Springbok ever at a World Cup after Victor Matfield. So there we go, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below. Elton Jantjies, will that be his only appearance at the World Cup, and how many minutes does he get in the World Cup going forward? Because I honestly believe Andre Pollard is the better of the 2 fly halves by a mile. It's not even close, and that goal kicking is the real cause of concern, I think, for South Africa today. That's where you've got to look at it and go, okay, he's missed some difficult kicks. Yeah, you're not going to get every single kick, but the kicking conditions were pretty good, and he missed some kicks that Andre Pollard would have got. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and obviously we've got some more games tomorrow, and then another full week, and we'll try and catch as many games as possible. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.